Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here, welcome. And please drop a comment in the comments section telling me you're new. And please subscribe. And if you've been here before and haven't subscribed yet, also please do so. We're trying to get to 7,000 subscribers. We're very close. It'd be wonderful if you could join us here into the Knicks-Verse. And also hit the thumbs up button for me. Very much appreciate that, along with dropping your comments. Well, the New York Knicks hosted the Miami Heat at MSG tonight, Thursday, and they won. They held on tight. It was 106-104, and it was so close at the end. There were some careless inbound passes, inbound plays. Julius slipped at half court, and they were ruled it a foul at first, and then it was overturned, and the Heat got the ball in the front court, and they actually got a pretty decent look for Tyler Hero, but he didn't connect. Randle, to make up for his blunder, he rotated over to help RJ double team Hero. Very nice play at the end. This was a very odd game. It was a weird game. That's what I kept texting my friends. Weird game. What's going on here? And at one point, it looked like the Knicks were going to collapse in that third quarter, or they were going to kind of just hang around and then completely collapse in the fourth quarter. It didn't happen because the bench that was pretty bad in the first half actually was pretty damn good in the second half, and that was a big difference for why the Knicks won this game. So let's get to it. Here we go. Like I said, 106-104. But shout out to Julius Randle, number 30 for the New York Knicks. Second time he is now going to be an all-star. He's a reserve selected for the Knicks. Jalen Brunson did not get a selection. However, if Kevin Durant isn't able to play, or someone else, there's still plenty of time, a little bit of time before the game actually happens. There might be some people that aren't able to actually play. So I'm pretty sure Jalen Brunson is probably at the top of the list, top of the reserves list, or whatever they call it. So let's hope that he gets in there. It would be nice to have both of them in there. But tonight, Jalen Brunson wasn't even on the court. He was out for a non-COVID illness, probably a cold of some sort. I've been coughing lately. I don't know, something's lingering. That bluegrass flu is kind of lingering. It won't leave me. It won't leave me at all. But fortunately, the Knicks had Emmanuel Quickley to start this game and RJ Barrett to take over in the second half to lead this team to a victory over a team that they have to beat. One of the major frustrations over losing to the Nets a couple of days ago was the Nets are in front of them. The Knicks, especially they were without KD. So the Knicks had to beat teams like the Nets to make it happen. Now, last night, as you saw, the Celtics just completely destroyed the Nets. Same team that we played. They destroyed them. And now we beat the Celtics. So there's a lot of weirdness happening in this NBA season. I think a lot of it is due to the three-point shot. The three-point shot is finicky. Sometimes you just don't have it, and you need it because the other team is probably going to have it. If you put both teams out on the court, the odds that both teams are not going to shoot from the three effectively aren't that high. What's higher is that one team will and one team won't. And the other propensity is that both teams will shoot kind of similarly. So when you have a situation where one team just outshoots the other one tremendously, it's really hard to win in the NBA. And that's what we allowed the Nets to shoot against us. They shot 55% for the three-point line against us, and only shot 20% against the Celtics last night. But this game, so that's why this game is so important. This game right here against the Heat. The Heat are right up above us in the standings. I believe we are now officially only one game back. They are, I think, 8.5 games back, and we are 9.5 games back from the Celtics. The Heat are firmly in sixth place. Not firmly. Actually, we're right there. We're breathing down their necks. And winning these games are very important because right now you can see the standings are going to be tight. It might continue this way through the rest of the season. So the Knicks have to beat their rivals. They have to beat the teams like the Hawks, have to beat teams like the Nets, have to beat teams like the Cavs and the Heat. who else? The Raptors. Any teams that are kind of lingering around them, they have to beat those teams, or else it's when it comes down to tiebreakers, it's not going to work out for us. Not going to work out for us at all. But let's see. Julius Randle here. This is a very well-deserved All-Star nomination. He actually, I was able to catch his post-game interview tonight, and he said that after last season, he did not even touch the basketball for about a month and a half. He took a break. I think that was a brilliant move. Get some distance, try and figure out trying to recapture the love for the game itself. He was letting things get to him too much. And then he said that Johnny Bryant went and met with him. I don't know what the details were, whether they met up here in New York or in Dallas or whatever, but he said Johnny came to me over the offseason and had a very frank one-to-one discussion with him. And it seems like the discussion was, what do you prioritize? What is it that matters to you? Does your ego, I'm not saying that he said this, but I'm wondering, just to put words in their mouths, if it was a discussion about ego. What is really important? Is it your own personal success, or whether you get dissed, or whether you're not getting a call and your frustration escalates and then you start losing focus in the game? Because those are the things that I've seen. So I'm wondering if Johnny basically helped him gave him a mental tune-up to help him decide what is important when you're out on a basketball court, or important for the whole season, important for his whole life, really. Well, it worked. Even though the first 10 games of this season were rocky, maybe 15 games or so, they were a little rocky, he's figured it out. And he is definitely a much better player this year than he was even 2 years ago. Tonight is an example. That fourth quarter could have been a catastrophe, but it wasn't. The Knicks moved the ball. The Knicks picked up assists. Actually, Randle got a huge assist, getting the ball out to Grimes for a big three-point bucket. And then Grimes himself, RJ got the hockey assist, the Kobe assist. He bounced past it to Grimes when he was rolling, and Grimes was rolling to the basket, but he saw the defender leave Ihart, and Ihart came, and Grimes hit him, and beautiful bucket, huge buckets. It was they played very, very well in that fourth quarter because the ball moved. Now, it's kind of like a backhanded diss to Jalen Brunson a little bit, if you want to look at it that way, but it's not. Jalen Brunson can do this. He needs to understand that if the ball doesn't keep moving, it's hard for the rest of the guys to keep engaged and at the ready to help make a bucket when they need it, especially three-point buckets. You need that three-point shot. You have to have it, especially in that fourth quarter when other teams are hitting threes trying to get back into the game. We're talking about when we have the lead. What I liked is that the team did not change its style of play for the fourth quarter. They didn't go into that slow down ISO mode. Now, one thing I would like to have seen was the ball more in IQ's hands at the end of the game instead of RJ's. I liked seeing it in RJ's hands as well, but I also wanted to see it in IQ's hands. It was also often in Randle's hands when he was forced to make decisions, tough decisions. And we have to limit that. Of course, he's a high usage guy. He's your all-star guy. The ball's going to be in his hands often, but you need to make sure when you give it to him, it's where he can thrive. A lot of times he was getting the ball way out 32 feet from the basket. That's a little far for a guy to cover, distance to cover. Get him the ball on the move. Come on, have some more screens. It feels like the solution is not that difficult. And I feel like tonight might be the beginning of something big for the Knicks going into the fourth quarter. Sometimes you discover what you need when you're missing key people. That's what happens sometimes. And tonight we're missing Brunson, who also deserved an all-star. And if he just understands what his role should be in that fourth quarter, this team could really really gel, and we could win games like that, like against the Lakers or against the Nets and those kind of. Well, I mean, we were able to pull it off against the Celtics and the Cavs back to back. So that's what I'd like to see. One thing that was interesting was when we got into the game here. Let's look at the stats. Randle finished with 23 points and 10 rebounds and 6 assists. Beautiful all-around game for him. He did commit a few turnovers. He shot 3 of 9 from the three-point line, 8 of 19 overall in 34 minutes. So Randle only played 34 minutes tonight, and I think that's a very important stat right there. He had some legs towards the end of the game. Unfortunately, those legs failed him, and he slipped. And it almost ended in catastrophe, but the Knicks were able to recover in that last second play. But you see, Obi Toppin played 14 minutes, 3 of 6 overall. He was there for a very key stretch when the second unit was able to give this team some cushion. And it was really led by RJ Barrett. He scored 11 points on a 5 for 7 string there in the third quarter to open the third quarter. And including 9 points in an 11-0 run to start the second half of the game. And it gave the Knicks a cushion of 14-5 right there. 14, should I say. Some of the other things that were really interesting were in the beginning, in the first half, I thought Grimes was, he was kind of rushing his shot a little bit, but he seemed to have calmed down. And he ended up with an effective 3 of 5 from the three-point line. Shot 60% from the three-point line. 6 of 9 overall. He got 3 dimes and 4 assists and finished with 17 points. Quickly did not have a big scoring night tonight, but his defense, once again, superb. This guy, and also when they find him in the corner for a three-point shot, it's one of the most beautiful things to watch now. It's just effortless at the moment. He shot 2 of 5. I wish he would have gotten more looks. I wish the team had done a better job at finding him out on the perimeter. But the Heat were trying to neutralize that because they know what kind of a lethal force he is. So to counter that, what happened? Deuce McBride comes into the game, plays 11 minutes, hits all 3 of his buckets, including 2 from the three-point line. And they were huge. They also, the Knicks went on, in the third quarter, the Heat went on a 19-4 run. Yeah, after the Knicks took the lead and extended the lead, then they went cold. And the Heat went on a 19-4 run to take the lead at 67-66. But then the Knicks, to close the third quarter, going into the fourth, they went on a run of their own, an 11-5 run to recapture the lead, to close it, and go into the fourth quarter leading 77-72. So it was a game of runs, but the team never gave up, and especially against a Heat team, which they have a lot of history, these two. There's a lot of history between these two. So I was very proud of the way the Knicks played. And look at RJ. RJ just exploded today. 41 minutes he played. 13 of 23 overall. He missed all 5 of his three-point shots. He's kind of aiming right now. He needs to get back into the lab, maybe have a conversation with Drew and fix that, because his three-point shot, he's been shooting outstanding from the three-point line since December 1st. He's been averaging, I believe, 40% from the three-point line since December 1st. So he needs to get back into the lab. He might have dropped a little bit below because of 2 recent games he has not been effective. But it's only been the last 2. Before that, he was on fire from the three-point line. Got 8 rebounds, and he got 4 dimes himself. The Knicks got 25 assists tonight. Without Jalen Brunson on the court, the Knicks got 25 assists. It's because they knew they all had to share the ball and pick up the slack. Because, the way Brunson scores, he doesn't necessarily need other people to set screens for him. I mean, he does need it, but he can break defenses down all on his own, and he gets a bucket when the Knicks need it. This time, the Knicks had to play a more team-oriented type ball. What I would like to see repeated again is like a happy marriage of the 2 styles, where Brunson, when he penetrates, he doesn't force the shots as often as I've been seeing lately. So if he can find the guy open out on the perimeter for a nice clean look, that's going to make his teammates better, and it's going to make his life even easier the next time he drives. Just makes sense. It's just pretty simple. Another one who followed up a decent game, a good game. He actually had a very good game against the Lakers. He followed up Isaiah Hartenstein, 29 minutes, 3 of 7 overall. Excuse me, there's that bluegrass flu. 10 rebounds, 8 points. I did pick up 4 personal fouls, but he even got 1 dime there. A nice productive game for him. But like I said, remember Deuce? Man, beautiful game for him. And Obi, and then Evan Fournier. The bench tonight provided some offense. We've had games where the bench has given us 10 points. Not tonight. Tonight, the bench gave us, 28 points. No. Yeah, 28 points. No. Yeah. 28 points. Oh, man. I just enjoyed the way this game ended so much. Not the drama at the very, very end, but the way that the team was able to recover after several runs that the Miami Heat made. The Knicks were able to gather themselves and come out and make runs of their own. And they did it by getting stops. It's another advantage of having good defenders out on the floor. Now, RJ did get hurt several times defensively, trying to guard Hero, and at times Jimmy Butler. He did a better job with Jimmy Butler, but they had to put him on Hero because Hero's a tough matchup for Grimes, though I'd like to see that more. I guess Thibs felt that it's a better matchup having Grimes on Butler and RJ on Hero. And in the end, it worked out. So it's hard to argue with that. Knicks shot 33.3% from the three-point line, but they hit 48.2% overall. So had a very nice game from inside the arc. Here's the plus-minus. Randle was a plus 14. Sims a plus 16, which is misleading because Sims actually looked kind of lost out there often, especially against Bam. He just didn't really look. He's still got a lot to learn. I have great faith that he will, and so let's hope that this is just another game, another learning game for him. Another one. Let's see. Oh, Grimes finished with a plus 8. Now Toppin and Hartenstein, they finished with a minus 12 and minus 14 respectively, but that was mostly from the first half. In the first half is where the Knicks, and you can see also RJ a minus 1. Overall in his plus minus. It was in the first half. Fournier played in this game. I forgot to mention. He hit his one. He had 1 3-point bucket, missed 5 others, 1 of 7 overall. But interestingly, in the first half, terrible defense, but in the second half, much more inspired. He actually had a very excellent closeout on Max Strub. It was at a moment where if he had hit that shot, the momentum the Knicks had built up in that early fourth quarter could have totally been zapped. But no, he closed out on him hard, and there were a couple other times where he played some very good defense. I believe he got, did he get any assists? Did he get any steals? He did not. He got credit with 1 steal. Oh, that was a big one. It was towards the baseline. That was a very key possession right there. And look at Hartenstein. He got 3 steals himself. And Randle got 3 steals. So 8 steals for the team overall, 25 assists. We won the rebounding battle, 44. I believe we won the rebounding battle. But we did commit 17 turnovers, and that is one of the main reasons why the Heat were able to continue to make those runs. Because the Knicks would, offensively, they'd make it work, but then they'd go into that zone, and they'd force the Knicks to make mistakes. It's kind of odd to me that after all this time, the Knicks haven't figured out how to play against the zone. They got to keep working on it. Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler had an off night. Not sure what's happening with him, but he did finish with 5 dimes, 10 points, only 3 rebounds for him in 33 minutes. Bam Adebayo, he was the story, especially in that second half. He was almost unstoppable. Hartenstein tried to do his best, but he was just, when he's facing the basket, the guy is lethal. He was 11 of 16 overall, 9 rebounds, finished with 32 points and 3 dimes in 38 minutes. Tyler Hero, 40 minutes, 10 of 22, 4 of 10 from the 3-point line, 5 rebounds, 8 dimes for him. So he was playmaking himself, 25 points. Let's see who else. Strus, that guy hurts us. As you can see, remember I mentioned that Fournier closed out on him well? Look, he could have been 6 of 8. Guy finished 5 of 8. Guy's tremendous. He's taken over that role from Duncan Robinson, who's basically a forgotten man. on the Miami Heat team right now. The Heat finished with 36.1% from the three-point line, shot overall 44.8%. Let's look at the team stats. So you can see the Knicks outshot Miami from overall 44.8% to 48.2%. Three-point shooting, they beat us. They hit one more three-point shot than we did. The free throw shooting, 14 of 18 for us. I would like to see that a little higher. I want to see that in the 80%, like 80 something, like you saw. The Heat got 81.3%. But look at the rebounding battle. Knicks owned them. We were a plus 11 overall in rebounding. We even out-rebounded, got more offensive rebounds just by 2. But the assists, we got more assists than the Heat tonight, 25 to 24. I can't remember the last time the Knicks had more assists than their opponents. Steals were about even, 8. They ended up with 3 blocks on us. Turnovers, that was the killer. They got 21 points off of our turnovers, and we only got 11, so that was a plus 10 for them. And we controlled the ball more, and that's where we were really missing Jalen Brunson. So, when you're hearing the commentaries from other people and everything, oh, we missed Brunson at the close of the game, that's where we really missed him. We didn't necessarily miss him in once the ball is moving, in offensive execution and shot making or in defense, we didn't miss him. Sorry, we didn't. But we missed him in controlling the ball and not making dumb turnovers. That's where we really missed him. I think we made 3 turnovers in the last 3 minutes of the game. That's devastating. That's devastating, especially when you're trying to hold on to a lead. Points in the paint, we destroyed them, 52 to 36. The fouls, they're pretty even. There was a moment there where Randle got a little too heated. They called a foul on him. He was letting it get to him a little too much. RJ tried to calm him down. He was able to pull it together, and that's another thing where we miss a Jalen Brunson. When Brunson's out on the court with it, or just Brunson around, especially when he's on the court, he helps to calm Julius down, to gather himself. And tonight it fell upon RJ and a few of the other teammates. He was able to pull it back together. So shout out to Julius for being able to do that. Knicks' largest lead they had in the game was 14, and they were once down by 5. This was a tremendous win for this team if they have serious plans of trying to get into the playoffs. These are the key wins. They play the Clippers next. And then they play, we have a big weekend here. Big weekend. It's back-to-back games. February 4th, we play the Clippers, and then they host the Philadelphia 76ers on Sunday night. You never know. You never know. Let's hope that Brunson feels better, well enough to be able to play, at least for the Sunday game. Let's hope. If he's really has a cold or a flu or whatever, it might be tough for him to be back by Saturday, but maybe by Sunday he can be back, and because we're going to need him, especially with those back-to-back games. Those are brutal on this team, especially with the way that Thibs distributes his minutes. But let's look back at the minutes again, because this is an interesting thing. We're down 2 starters. Mitch and Brunson, and yet only RJ played over 38 minutes. Over 37 minutes, can we say. Quickly and Grimes played 37 minutes each. RJ played 41 minutes because he also plays a lot of time with the bench. But Randle's 34 minutes, I think, were crucial. This is in the range where, excuse me, where Thibs has to keep the starters in when we're back to full health. When we get Mitch back and we get Brunson back, I don't want to see anyone play over 35 minutes in a game. There's no need for it. No need for it at all. And the more time that our other guys are out there, yes, they're going to make mistakes. But these are professionals. These are NBA players. The more time they get out on the court, the better they're going to end up becoming. This is a work in progress. Now I want to talk to you guys about something that is concerning me about the Knicks in general. So, I guess, if I'm going to be talking to the entire Knicks community, Knicks family, the fans. You guys, the reality of the situation is this is one of the best teams we have had in the last 21 years. Yes, the 2 mellow years and then the COVID year. But other than that, this is one of the best teams we've had. You guys are freaking out right now. The noise on Twitter is just, it's mind-boggling. The posting of the free cam signs and the fire Thibs and all that stuff on the subways entrances in front of MSG. Okay, it's kind of funny or whatever, but it's indicative of a mania that's kind of taking place here. It's like everyone wants things to be their way. Well, guess what? We don't have that power. We can only express our feelings, but the front office, Dolan and Thibs, are the ones who control the direction of this team. Now, we can have issues with it, of course. I do. I mean, I thought Thibs should have been fired a long time ago, and I still believe it, honestly. At the time when shit was going down, he should have been fired, but he wasn't. So I'm not going to sit here and keep whining and complaining about it. And I'm also not going to ignore the reality that this is a good team. This is a good team. This team is now 28-25, 3 games over 500, and they just won a game against a big rival that's right in front of them without their guy who should have been an all-star as their point guard. So let this team be what it is. And I'm telling you, it's going to keep getting better. Historically, Thibodeau teams get better as the season ticks forward. Now, do they run out of gas by the get to the playoffs? They do. And that's a concern, which is why I always talk about the minutes. I have issues about the minutes and all that stuff. And the thing about benching Cam, look, I hear you guys and everything about Cam, but Cam was not that good a defensive player. He wasn't for us. I showed you guys the numbers. For the full season, his defensive rating was a 116. 116 defensive rating. For a guy that everyone talks about him like he's like, Kawhi Leonard on defense. He's not. Does he have great moments? Yes. Does he have flashes? Yes. But obviously, they're not consistent enough. And then there's some issue where he didn't like the way Thibs was utilizing him. And then he hasn't played since. All right, maybe that's the story. But guess what? He's the coach. He's allowed to do it. Does it suck? Yes. Is it hurting Cam's ability to earn for next season? Possibly. But those are them breaks. That's what happens. That's what happens. At the other end, this team right now is thriving. Now, is it thriving primarily because of Randle and Brunson and then also RJ? Yes. And then you put in what IQ has been doing, who is by far our 4th best player. And sometimes I think he might be our best player overall in reality. And that's why tonight I was bummed that he only got 1 shot in the 4th quarter. I don't know how that happens. But see, that's where the coach has to get in there and make those changes. Now, is Thibs a coach that gets out-coached in the midst of in games? Yes, we've seen it many, many times. It happened against the Lakers. But look at tonight. Tonight it actually worked out. No, it almost didn't. 2 inbound plays that collapsed. And why are we inbounding the ball to Randle? Seriously. Why? He is mistake prone. So, especially in those moments, and especially when he gets doubled, maybe come up with a different option. Maybe call a different inbound play. Maybe get it to IQ, who's our one of our best free throw shooters that we've ever had on this team. There's a lot of issues, but enjoy the team, guys. I feel so much angst out there. And it's sad because this is, again, one of the very best teams the Knicks have ever had in the past 21 years. If you can't enjoy it now, when will you? Will you only enjoy it only if they win the way you want them to win? Let that go. Let it go. Enjoy what's happening here. And same with the RJ hating. I don't understand the RJ hating. Look what the kid did tonight. This is why RJ is what he is. He gets benched the last game, leaves, doesn't want to talk about it. Everyone freaks out, comes out, and drops a 30 dime on the Miami Heat, who he has his all-time. I think he scored 46 points last year against the Heat, his career high. So, and the Heat are a good defensive team. Just take a breather, guys. Take a breather. The trade deadline is less than a week away. And if the Knicks have already decided, you heard Dolan in his interview, he expects the team to be a playoff team. So Leon is going to make moves or a move that helps achieve that goal. That's the idea. Okay? If it's the big, giant trade, I doubt anything's going to pop up. Those are very rare in season. I know the James Harden trade happened in season, I think even twice, but that's rare. That's very rare. So it's not going to be something like that. If it's OG Anunoby, so be it. He's a plus player. He's leading the league in steals, and he's one of the best defenders in the game. And he defends all 5 positions. Is he going to make us a contender? No, that's not the point. That's not the point. We're way past that now. It's like complaining that we didn't, get off at the exit, 8 miles back. No, we're way down the line now. This is the team that we have, and we either root for it or we don't. That's the way I see it. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. I am into the Knicks-Verse. Please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and on YouTube. And drop your comments. Definitely want to hear your thoughts about this game and the direction we're going in and anything I've said tonight. Whether you agree or disagree, I love hearing the comments. They help me. They make me better at what I do here. Thumbs ups, and I will see you around.